Just going to do a couple of examples here for quadratic inequalities. Let's say we have something like this. X squared is greater than or equal to 4. Now the first step is move everything over to one side. So if I tried to square root this, it'd be like, well, I'm going to take positive and negative, but as soon as you take a negative value with the inequality, it changes the direction. So we're going to always have it as 0 on one side. X squared minus 4 is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, now this parabola here we think about, okay, so when we come over here, think about it, it's concave up, so it's going to look like that, smiley face, it's feeling up. And then the other thing is, what is a solution for x squared minus 4 equals 0? Well, we've got to solve that, so that becomes a difference of two squares, x minus 2 x plus 2 is equal to 0, so x equals 2 and minus 2. Now if I draw my number line, I'm going to mark those two, and this is my x-axis, right? If I draw my number line, that's minus 2 and that's 2. Now the parabola, if I sort of project it over the top, would look something like this. It's concave up, we said, and it's 0 at those two values, 2 and minus 2. So it's going to look like that. Now, you see here, it's a greater than or equal to 0. Now, when you have a curve on a set of axes, the bits of the curve that are greater than 0 are the bits which are above the x-axis, which is this bit and this bit. So, it's going to be a solid circle because it's greater than or equal to. So, either x can be in this region or either x can be in this region. If x takes on any of those values, then the curve is above the x-axis, which means it's greater than 0. Therefore, the solution is x is greater than or equal to 2 and x is less than or equal to minus 2. That's the way we approach it. There's plenty of other examples on the page, but let's just do one more. What about this one? We're going to do x squared minus 6x plus 9 is greater than 0. Okay, now same thing applies. This is concave up. And then we solve when it's equal to 0. Minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. Now two numbers that multiply to 9 and add to negative 6 was negative 3 and negative 3, which makes this a perfect square. X minus 3 all squared equals 0. Therefore, x is equal to 3. Now, this is another special case. I'll draw my x-axis number line, and there's only one point to mark in this case. That's 3. And when I have a perfect square, the parabola just touches at that point. And we'll learn more about that when we talk about discriminants. So, it's greater than 0. So, greater than 0 is all this part, and this whole part is above the x-axis. So it's everything above 3 and everything below 3. So the answer is x is greater than 3 and x is less than 3. Or we could just say x not equal to 3. That's a slightly different way of doing it. Okay, 9.2, see how we go.